The Illinois General Assembly returns to Springfield next week for spring session, and they could take up a series of other measures to control guns as the state faces ongoing continued litigation against the gun and magazine ban implemented over a year ago. Welcome in, Bishop on Air. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Friday, we will be taking a look at what's going on in the Southern District of Illinois federal courts, where you've got the ongoing, gun and magazine ban being challenged. And they're getting to the merits of the issue in Judge Stephen McGlynn's courtroom. But a status conference set for Friday. Now, you've also got the DeVore cases where I believe in late February, DeVore says that he's got a hearing on his challenge to have a court designate his client as a peace officer. But you also have the ongoing issues in the appellate court that DeVore's brought, as well as Dan Calkins bringing his case back to the Illinois Supreme Court, asking that they vacate their previous order that was issued in August. So clearly still a lot of moving pieces when it comes to gun ban litigation, but that's not the only lawsuit. You've got the National Shooting Sports Foundation. They still have that lawsuit against the state's firearms industry liability law that allows for lawsuits against the firearms industry. You also have several challenges against the state's FOID card, the firearm owner identification card. So clearly there's a lot going on there. But as we do this each and every weekday morning, let's take a look at some of the latest numbers from Illinois State Police. Doesn't look like they've updated the numbers since the 23rd, and I'll just give a refresh here. But clearly, you've got the state, putting in the latest for people who've registered firearms. You're looking at 6,000 on top of the 30,000 or so that registered before the deadline. So those numbers haven't updated this week. But clearly, we'll update you on that as that comes out. But some of the things that the Illinois legislature could be taking a look at, a bunch of different bills. And I was able to just quickly grab some of them. And this is no way a complete comprehensive look at the entire list of gun legislation at the Illinois Statehouse. But when they return Tuesday, they're going to obviously be, embroiled with the ongoing migrant crisis. But just some of the bills that could come up, and it depends on, obviously, if it's a Republican-sponsored bill or if it's a Democrat-sponsored bill. But just to get an idea of what some of the Republicans are looking at, you've got House Bill 4150, and it's got Republican support, and what it does is, the summary says, it amends the Criminal Code of 2012, provides that should provisions regarding manufacture, possession, delivery, sale, and purchase of assault weapons, 50 caliber rifles, and 50 caliber cartridges be found to be unconstitutional by a court, and appeals have been exhausted or expired, the Illinois State Police shall immediately and permanently destroy or have destroyed each endorsement affidavit and all information collected from the endorsement affidavit in possession with Illinois State Police and any law enforcement agency. So that's one bill that in particular they could possibly bring up. There's another bill that could also come up, and that is this measure called House Bill 4372. Again, House Bill 4372. This is also a Republican-sponsored bill, and it would repeal provisions of state law that makes mandatory changes to the Firearm Restraining Order Act that provides that a petitioner for a firearm restraining order may request a plenary firearms restraining order of up to 1 year, but not less than 6 months. It repeals provisions that the firearm restraining order may be renewed for an additional period of up to 1 year, and repeals other provisions. So Republicans looking to address the so-called red flag laws that a lot of people have concerns about. You have a Democrat bill, House Bill 4560, that would amend the Illinois Income Tax Act. This one's interesting. This one from Maura Hirschauer, gun control advocate. Her bill here, House Bill 4560 from the Illinois legislature, would amend the Illinois Income Tax Act and create an income tax credit for the eligible purchase of firearm safety devices. Is this something to encourage people to have firearm safety devices? Interesting. Again, that's House Bill 4560 from State's Representative Maura Hirschauer. You also have other bills that could be coming up. House Bill 3791. This has 20 Democrat sponsors in the Illinois House as of right now. And this, in the summary, it says it amends the Firearm Concealed Carry Act, provides that nothing in the act prohibits a forest preserve district from prohibiting persons from carrying a firearm into any botanic garden, campground, aquatic center, grounds of an aquatic center, boat launch, boating center, athletic venue, picnic grove, nature center, grounds of nature center, pavilion, grounds of pavilion, golf course, parking lot. It gives an entire list here. This is obviously, building upon the so-called safe spaces or prohibitive places. People, are prohibited from taking firearms in a variety of different places, but obviously you've got some Democrats wanting to prohibit firearms being on, certain types of forest preserve districts, for instance. So you've got that bill and a similar bill as well in Senate Bill 2425. So Senate Bill 2425 and House Bill 3791 dealing with where you can carry a firearm legally in the state of Illinois. Then you've got House Bill 4481. This one's a Republican bill, and it provides that security officers are exempt from provisions barring the carrying and possession of weapons in a vehicle concealed upon one's person or upon public streets, alleys, or other public lands within corporate limits of a municipality. It amends various other provisions allowing for security officers to carry. These are all proposed bills. And again, this is not an entire collection of all the bills, but we will be kind of unpacking a whole host because, listen, they file thousands and thousands and thousands of pieces of legislation at the Illinois Statehouse. So clearly this is going to be an ongoing review that we do looking at this as we move forward into the spring. Here's House Bill 4328. This bill, again, House Bill 4328, repeals and makes mandatory changes to the Firearms Restraining Order Act, repeals provisions of the firearm restraining order to be renewed in an additional period of up to 1 year. So again, Republicans looking to try to address that. You've got Senate Bill 2794. Again, Senate Bill 2794 it amends the Wildlife Code, provides it's unlawful for any person within 300 yards of an inhabited dwelling to hunt with a gun or dog, allow dog to hunt, or discharge a firearm without first getting permission from the tenant of the dwelling. And this is a Democrat bill, Senate Bill 2794. So right now it would, 300-yard restriction, it would bring that down to a 100-yard restriction. And this was put into a separate bill, an omnibus bill last year that didn't advance. So maybe separating this out, Democrats are going to look to try to get that through. That's Senate Bill 2794, limiting how close people can be to a residential area to do some hunting. But then you have a couple of different House bills, House Bill 4327 and House Bill 4304. These bills would repeal the Firearm Owner Identification Card Act. And of course, Republicans have been trying to do that for quite some time. Void the FOID is what gun rights advocates say practically every year whenever we are in the legislature. But whether it's going to come by the legislation here, which doubt would advance, you still have the court cases ongoing about the various measures in place to have people in Illinois who want to get a gun or ammo to file with state police and become a firearm owner identification card holder. And clearly, again, just looking at the statistics here from Illinois State Police, from firearm owner identification card data, 2.4 million total FOID card holders in the state of Illinois. That number has not increased. I'm not sure why not, but it hasn't increased for months. But you've also got just all of the FOID card questions of whether or not that's an infringement upon the Second Amendment right. So clearly we'll be watching all of this and more as we do each and every weekday morning, especially as the state legislature heads back into session. So stay tuned. We'll have more of that all throughout. So, all right, appreciate you guys being here. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It's Bishop on Air each and every weekday morning here on YouTube, X, Facebook, Rumble. Appreciate you guys.